Hey, the FX network has been really coming on strong with some of the coolest series out there. If you're not a fan of The Americans, you need to get into that series right away. But the newest series, really taking cable by storm, really making great waves, is the TV reboot of the Coen Brothers Academy Award-winning 1996 film Fargo. And, of course, that film starred William H. Macy and Frances McDormand and Steve Buscemi. Now the weekly series, quirky, dark, intriguing, masterfully written, and filled with captivating performances featuring Billy Bob Thornton, Martin Freeman, you Hobbit fans will know that, Colin Hanks, and our guest tonight, and boy is she doing great, she plays Officer Molly Solverson. Please welcome Allison Tolman. Hey. Wow. Let's just take the average guy walking around, and he doesn't, he watches a little television. He ain't seen this one yet, and he didn't see the movie, and so, so why should I watch this thing?
Stop by and look at Fargo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would tell them that it's a black comedy about what happens when you take small-town police officers and you match them up with big-time psychopaths. And I would say that you kind of mix them up and see what happens. And I would hope that he's a black comedy fan, whoever I was talking to on the street.
Yeah.
He'd be on board with that.
How'd you get the role?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm actually based in Chicago. So I was in Chicago just sort of auditioning for whatever kind of came my way, which was mostly commercials and voiceovers and plays that took place in bars and things like that. And I just put myself on tape for this one with my agent there in Chicago. I wasn't working at the time. I was also interviewing in the afternoons and trying to get a new day job to pay my bills. And I just popped by and put myself on tape.
I'll be darned.
Then, several weeks later, they called me to New York to go do a screen test. And then...
Now, wait a minute. Stop for a second. When you said you went and just put yourself on tape, did you have some of the script, or had they sent you something for the role, and did they give you much of a description?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They sent me a description of the project and a couple of scenes of Molly. They sent them to my agent. I think that they cast a pretty wide net for this role. So it made its way to my agent in Chicago. And then when they read it, they thought of me. So
pretty cool.
They got me in, and I put myself on tape with my agent.
So the Coen brothers are not actively involved. So there is a showrunner who's pushing this show and pushing it to some dark areas. Talk to me about that, and also explain when you knew it was good.
Yeah, our showrunner Noah Hawley is also he wrote every episode of the show, and the Coen brothers very early on sort of signed off and said, "You're doing great. We're not going to give you notes. This is not our medium.
Oh, great.
So you do your thing," which gave Noah a lot of freedom to create the awesome show that he created. And then, of course, he was our showrunner, so he was there with us, kind of in the trenches, getting things done. I knew when I read the pilot that it was good, and I'd never been on a television set before, so being on set and actually making things, I knew very little about what was going on, but I could tell from the way my co-stars who knew more about this, I could tell from the way they talked about things that things were going very well. Unusually well, and that we had a really, really strong crew. We had the backing of the network, and that everybody was really happy, and that it was not always like this, and that I was really very lucky and very spoiled to have this be my first project.
What were you doing like 2 years ago? What was it? What was happening to your life 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I was working in customer service at an IT firm, answering phones. And keeping clients happy.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Just doing comedy. I was writing a lot. I was doing a lot of sketch comedy and stuff like that. And I mean, I was just plugging away in Chicago, And I'm 32, So when you don't go to Los Angeles or New York and you go somewhere else and you get to be my age, you kind of stop thinking that you're going to get your big break. Like that's a young man's dream.
Yeah.
You start to not think about that. You start to think about what is my life going to look like from this point forward? How am I going to live, and how am I going to make money, and what am I going to do to fulfill myself artistically?
How has your life changed?
Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible to be. I mean, you know, I was never made very much money. I was always hopping from one sort of day job to the next, and doing customer service and working in offices and things like that. And then when I actually booked this role, I was unemployed. I wasn't working, and I hadn't been working for several months.
Wow.
So to be able to sort of like not just take care of the debt that I got myself into when I wasn't working, but to be able to have a little bit of a nest egg for the future is amazing. I feel like I've kind of caught up now to my friends who went a more traditional route out of college and went and got, you know, proper jobs.
You know, here you are now. You're cruising. Things have happened. You're on a successful series on a very successful network. You're working with big stars. Now what's happening to you? Aside from Fargo, agents, managers, possibilities, movie offers, TV offers, what's your life like today?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is crazy to kind of be thrown into the deep end like that, and suddenly have to, you know, hire a team of people to help you do things. But yeah, I did. I have a manager. I have my agency in Chicago. I'm looking for agents in Los Angeles. I have an accountant. You know, I've got all these people that I need to kind of help me manage things now. And I'm still based in Chicago, but I'm planning to make my way out to Los Angeles in the fall and kind of test it out and give it a couple of years. And I feel like this is the right time for me to be here in California. And I've never been in a place before where it was where I needed to be, but now seems like the right time. So I'm going to leave my beloved Chicago and give California a try.
What's your dream part? Last question. What's your dream part? What do you want to do now? Now that you're, you know, a hot shot.
I know. Now that I'm a hot shot. You know, I feel like I'm in a really great place because Fargo's a black comedy, and so it sort of swings both ways between drama and comedy. And I'm hoping that I can use that to get to play lots of different things. I would love to do some really silly comedy, and I'd love to do some really silly drama. And I'm hoping that this being the first and only way that people know me is as Molly, that it won't be a huge stretch for people to look at that and think that I can do both. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what comes my way. I'm certainly hoping that being out here in the fall will lead to great opportunities for me as well.
Allison, we're really proud of you. Congratulations on the success of Fargo on FX. Allison Tolman, who plays Molly Solverson, and boy, is there a lot in that. Is that definitely in the works? I mean, Solverson. Who's going to solve this crime? Molly Solverson. Duh. Okay. Allison.
I like to spell things out.
All right. Hey, keep going, huh? Congratulations. Thank you for being with us on Hollywood Headlines.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.